I want to draw your attention, Ms. Arias, specifically to the text message denoted as 14829. Can you see that on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. Can you read that for us?
Yes. I sent you a response to your dire conversation that I hope you read because you need to read it. Maybe it will spark human emotion in you, something that only seems to exist when it comes to your own problems, but everyone else is just a part of your sick agenda. By the way, your pic comment to Danny Jones makes you look like a pure whore, even more to the people who know you. You should be embarrassed by it. But if he knew what I knew about you, he'd spit in your face. So would everyone else. I have never in my life been hurt so bad by someone. But why do I even say it? Because you don't care. It doesn't serve your evilness.
Before we move off that text message, I want to ask you a few questions. You said I sent you a response to your dire conversation. Was that something that happened verbally, or was that something that happened over some other form of communication?
It was verbal. He wanted me to text it, but I didn't want to talk about his issues in the text messages.
What do you mean his issues?
His sexual attraction to children.
It also says in here, your pit comment to Danny Jones makes you look like a whore, or excuse me, a pure whore. Was that the one regarding man boobs, the Anchorman reference you were speaking of last week?
Yeah, it was a joke.
Okay.
The Cancun trip was announced in 2007, I think right before I broke up with him. And so he assumed he was going to win this trip, and so he was getting in shape. He had bought this thing around Christmas time called Body Bug, where he measured all his calories and all the calories he took in and all the calories he burned, so that it was just simple plus and minus math so that he could lose weight. And then I think it was in February or March that he received, maybe it was April, that he received confirmation that he was going to Cancun. And so he beefed up his workout even more so that he could shed a few more pounds.
What did he say to you on 5/26/08?
He called me, well, he said I look like a pure whore.
And that was on 5/26/08?
Yes.
And do you understand why he called you that? Was he upset? Something of that nature?
Yes. Well, he was upset about a lot of things that day, but there was a specific reason he called me that.
Why he called you a whore?
Yeah.
Why?
He found a comment that I left on another friend's page on his Facebook, on one of his photos.
And this, you said another friend's page. What are you referring to?
His Facebook page. The guy had a photograph up, and I left what I thought was a funny comment on it.
Do you recall what the comment was?
Yes. It was a reference to the movie Anchorman. It's a comedy with Will Ferrell. And can I explain the context?
Well, let's say, first of all, what was the comment?
I put, are those man boobs, or are you just ripped?
Okay. And this was the comment. Travis was mad at this comment and called you a whore because you said you made a movie reference.
Yeah, it was a joke about the movie, from the movie.
Okay. Was there other discussions with him that day? Be they, specifically May 26th, be they verbal or written discussions?
There were these text messages and also a chat conversation and a phone conversation that followed.
Okay. Is this a chat conversation we heard in evidence earlier where he calls you a three-hole wonder?
Yes,
and a slut,
yes,
and a whore.
yes, and many other things.
What other things do you recall him calling you during that conversation?
Calls me a bitch. He tells me I'm worthless, and he tells me I'm shit.
And to your understanding, this was about an Anchorman reference posted on a Facebook page.
That was one of many convoluted subjects that he was angry about.
Okay. Was there other things he was angry at you about
Yes.
that day? To your understanding, what were those things?
He was angry because I told him I would drop the subject of him getting help for his stuff and
What do you mean his stuff?
his sexual problems. And, well, we agreed to drop it as long as he got help. I didn't really want to bring it up anymore, but after he made that comment about sodomizing a little girl on the phone, then I was I was concerned that he wasn't making any progress. So I sent him another of the same little stack of pamphlets that I grabbed, and I mailed it to him without telling him. I just dropped it in the mail because after that phone call, it concerned me. And he blew up over that and some other things also.
Some other things. What other things?
I had missent a text message to his phone. It was supposed to go to Steve Carroll. And the nature of that text message was that, because Travis had my Gmail password and he was getting into it. And so Steve and I were chatting on this, and it created a fight when Travis found the conversations. So I sent Steve Carroll a text message. I meant to send him a text message saying, hey, let's use my Hotmail for now, or something like that. Because someone has my Gmail password. Unfortunately, it happens to be an ex-boyfriend. And it was kind of a long explanation, and I went to hit send and could see it was 2 messages on my phone, and it goes through 1 and then 2. And as I was sending it, it saw it was going to Travis Alexander, and I was like, oh crap. So I hit cancel as fast as I could, and it canceled the message, but the first one made it to him, and that was enough to piss him off. So he accused me of being a liar because I wasn't telling him about what was really going on with Steve and I, even though we've never met. And so it just seemed to compound, because there was Abe, and then there was Steve and John Dixon and all these people. And then he was very angry about all that stuff.